Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining our instructor training series in today's webinar. Over the next 15 minutes or so, I'm going to go over 3 features or tools that you should consider using in the Hawks Instructor platform for this fall semester. Some of these are newer and some of them are not so new, but they're awesome tools that maybe you aren't familiar with. So I'll be walking through a brief overview of each of them. We're going to walk through how you can allow your students to show their work in their web test. That is a newer feature that we're really excited about. How you as the instructor can customize the learn screens by adding your own notes. And then lastly, we'll wrap up with how you can review by question in the assignment reviewer tool. And that is also a newer feature that we're really excited about too. So before we dive in, I just wanted to let you know if you have any questions, you can use the Q&A form in your Zoom toolbar at the bottom of the screen, and then we'll reserve some time at the end to go ahead and address those questions. With that, I'll go ahead and get started. So as you can see, I have my Teach account pulled up right now. First thing we're going to dive into is how you can allow your students to show their work within the WebTest platform. Like I said, this is a newer feature. We're really excited about it. This is a long-term request from our users. So just a great example of how your feedback really is valuable to us. So I'm going to go ahead and go to our assignments tool. And then we're going to go to our web test. Now, I had started creating a test earlier, so we're going to go ahead and click that edit item here. And it's going to open up our assignment builder tool in a new tab. As it loads, as you can see, it is a dual pane view. So if you're a returning Hawks user and are used to creating your test, this page should look very familiar to you. I'm going to go ahead and expand right panel full screen just so that we're looking at just our chosen questions here. And as you can see on the right side of my page, I now have this button beside each question that says Enable Show Work. If I go ahead and click on that, it gives the students the option of 2 different ways that they can show their work. First being they have a text box that they can enter supporting information of how they came to their answer. The second option would be to upload an image of their scratch paper, for example. Now, whenever the students see this option, we do specify which forms of images or files that we do accept. So it does kind of coach them along to make sure they're submitting the right format in their image submission. And one other thing to note is that we do only allow 1 image per question. So that is something to keep in mind. So as you scroll through, you can go ahead and enable show work. If you wanted to go ahead and do this for everything, you could always click Action, select all, and then Actions, enable show work. Now this is of course looking at doing a online version, so using that text box, using that that image upload, right? But if maybe you use our web test builder to create those tests and then print and make copies, this is still a valuable feature for you. So by using the enable show work, this would give you a little bit more space in between those questions for the students to be able to explain a little bit further how they came to their conclusion. Of course, we'd want to make sure we save anything that we do. So I'll go ahead and save that there. And I'll click OK. And of course, since this opens in a new tab, I'll just close. And then we're right back where we started in our test bank. And then, of course, if you have any questions about how to customize your test, assign it, you can always reach out to our training team. We're always happy to coach you through those steps. The next thing I did want to share with you is how you can customize your learn screens as the instructor. So as you know, we take our homework approach with our recommended learning path of starting and learn, moving to practice, and finally going to the certify mode. In Learn, this is where we say the textbook pages come to life and the student gets to interact with those textbook pages that are just the lesson level material for them to learn. So if we go to our curriculum, this is where we get to customize the questions that the students would see in their homework. I'm going to go ahead and jump into one of my sections here. So whenever you click on a particular lesson, it opens it up in the Lesson Builder tool. And this is where you can add or remove, replace any questions. So you may be familiar with that step already. However, if you click on this setting wheel here at the top, it's going to give you a drop-down menu. I apologize, my computer's been a little slow this morning. All right, this is what we want to see. So when you click on that settings wheel, you're going to see a drop-down menu where you have the option to open Learn. Whenever you open it in a new tab, it'll allow you to toggle through all of the pages that the students would see in their homework experience. So of course, we start them off with a clear list of objectives, and then you can toggle through those pages using these previous and next buttons, just like the student would. Now here at the bottom, you'll notice that you have a text box. So you can go ahead and enter your own notes here if you'd like. You can also embed links or videos for any other supporting information you'd like for your students to see for the lesson. Maybe there's an objective that you aren't covering in this particular lesson. You really want the students to zone in on what they are responsible for learning. We always have that option to hide the screen, and then you can also replace the screen as well. So this really gives you the freedom to customize even further what the students are seeing beyond just the questions that they're seeing, even getting into this Learn content here. And what we'll see typically is it can be as in-depth as you'd like or as simple as you'd like. So it could be something as simple as adding a footnote, for example, saying make sure you have this example practice because we're going to have that similar example on the upcoming exam. Or it could be a little bit more involved, like I mentioned, having separate links or videos that maybe you've pre-recorded and you want to share in the Learn mode. I'm going to go ahead and close this here, go back to our lesson builder. And since this opened in a new tab, I'm going to go ahead and close. But of course, if you made any changes, you would want to make sure you click Save at the bottom. Last but not least, I wanted to talk about that new feature where you can review by question in your students' web test submissions. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and actually go to a different gradebook here because this has some example data. So most of the instructors I talk to, I always admit that I love the assignment reviewer tool. It is, in my personal opinion, the shining star of our reports tool. So if you haven't checked out Assignment Reviewer at all, this is my plug for you to go ahead and go check it out. That show work, or not show work, the feature where you can review by question is actually in there. So that's where we're going right now. Under reports, we go to Assignment Reviewer. This is where you can see test and lesson submissions, can see exactly what the student submitted. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my web test here. And as I click on my test name, I'm going to see my student roster. I can open up the test attempt for one of my students. That would allow me to toggle through each of their questions. But let's say I see a particular question they were struggling with in particular and wonder how the rest of the class did. I can click on their attempt. And again, I apologize for my computer being slow. And it will show you at first a performance analytics page here. And then on the next page, this will be where we can toggle through those different questions that they were working through. But here at the top, this new feature is available for you to check off. So if we wanted to see how everyone else did on this particular question, we could click Assignment Builder Order. And then from there, we can toggle through our students' our student roster with these left and right arrows. So that will hopefully help you have just a more streamlined experience of analyzing how your students did as a whole on particular objectives or question types without having to open up each individual student attempt and going back and forth. So hopefully you'll enjoy this new tool. Like I said, if you haven't gotten to explore the assignment reviewer or any of our other reporting tools and you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. I really appreciate your time. I'm going to just stop sharing my screen for a moment. I'm going to go ahead and check our Q&A box. If you have any questions at this time, please feel free to go ahead and enter those into our Q&A box now. Okay, we don't have any questions at the moment, but if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We have phone hours from 8 in the morning to 10 at night Eastern, Monday through Friday. We have special seasonal support hours on Sundays, and you can find that information on our website. And then we also have a 24/7 live chat. So if it's a Saturday morning question or a really late night question, we're still available through that chat service as well. As always, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to our training and support team. We're always happy to guide you in the right direction. And I really appreciate you coming to our webinar series today. I hope that this series will be helpful for you. And I certainly wish you the very best this semester. Thanks, everyone.